Hey guys, this is Mrs. V. We're going to do today's math lesson is measuring area. Okay, area is the number of square units needed to cover a figure without overlapping. We don't want to overlap them. Sometimes you need to count the number of half square units. So this one, they're going to give us half. They're only going to shade half of it. So each half, so these are what halves could look like. A triangle, a long rectangle, more rectangles, or flipping it, okay? And remember, each of these are 1/2. In art class, Haley drew this figure on the right. So she drew this one. Count the number of whole squares. There are blank how many squares. So the best thing to do is they broke it up for us here, and we're going to count the whole ones first, and then we'll count the halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 wholes, okay? And we have 2 halves, okay? Remember, if we have 2 halves equal 1 whole. So we can just add 1 to the 14, which would make 15 whole squares. Okay? So it's showing us 14 whole squares plus 2 half squares equals 14 whole squares plus 1 whole square, which is 15 whole squares. So the area of this figure is 15 square units. Okay. All right, number 2. Raphael created the geoboard figure on the right. 1 square unit on the geoboard represents 1 square centimeter on the design. What is the area of the design? So make your squares if you need to. Remember, you don't want to overlap, so it's going to look kind of different. So I'm going to try to bring this close to you. You see the squares in there? That's what you need yours to look like. So let's count our squares. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 whole squares. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 half squares. So remember, we need 2 half squares to make a whole. So I'm going to draw out 8 half squares. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can make 4 whole squares. So 8 whole squares, and I have 8 half squares. 8 whole squares plus 8 half squares. 8 half squares went to 4 whole squares. So now I do 8 plus 4, and I get 12. 12 whole squares. Okay? So the area is 12 square units. The design is 12 square centimeters. Because we want to bring down our measurements, which is centimeters. Okay? All right, here. Find the area of each figure. So remember, draw out your squares. I have 3 whole squares and one half and 3 half squares. So I have 3 plus 3 holes, and I can take 2 halves away to make 1 whole. So now I have 4 holes and 1 half left. So my square units here is 4 and 1 half. Or we could just count 1, 2, 3, 3 and a half, 4, 4 and a half. Whatever is easiest for you. Okay? Go ahead and draw in your squares here. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5. 5 square units here. 5 square units there. Okay. Find the area of each figure. Well, I'm just going to continue to do the same things. Draw in my squares. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 whole squares. 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. I have 6 square units here. 6. Okay. Let's go to number 4. Draw in your squares. 1, 2 whole squares. 2.5, 3. So 3 square units there. Okay. Number 5. We're going to draw in our squares so that we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 squares here. 6.5. 7. 7.5. 8. So I have 8 square units here. Okay. Draw in your squares here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 whole squares here. 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8. So I have 8 square units there. Okay. Find the area of the shaded region. So this one's shaded. So remember, we're just going to count the squares. Start up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I counted 12 shaded boxes. Okay, this part's the shaded part. Okay, 12 shaded boxes. Okay, now this one I'm going to need to draw in my squares first so I can count them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember not to count the one that's not highlighted. 7, 8, 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5. So I have 10.5 square inches there. Okay. All right. Draw in your squares for number 9. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10. 10 square inches for this shape. Okay. This one, I'm just going to shade as I count these squares because there's no halves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 square inches there. Okay. All right. Denitra's family is building a stone walkway around their backyard. 1 square unit on the drawing at the right represents 1 square foot of stone. What is the area? So let's just count our squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 18, let's go back, square foot. Okay. But we have more than 1 foot, so it's going to be feet. Okay. Feet are plural for foot. Okay. Lucy is helping to tile a hallway. How many square tiles will she need to fill the area? So remember, I told you we can count the squares, but we don't have them here, or we can multiply the sides together. So we know the sides, so we're just going to multiply 3 times 5. Okay, let's count by 5s 3 times. 5, 10, 15. So I'm going to need 15 square units here. Okay, so if I were to draw it out, it would look kind of like that. Okay, use the grid to draw two different figures that have the same area. So area is the inside, so just make sure they're the same. So I'm going to do 6. Okay. Actually, you know what? Yeah, 6. I'm going to do that because the area is still the same, but the shape is not. Okay. A rectangular room is 10 units wide. So we're going to draw a box. 10 units wide. Okay. And 14 long. Well, let's go over here and draw it. Okay. 10 wide and 14 long. Find the area and the perimeter. So let's do the area. Area, remember we can multiply these two together. Okay, 10 times 14. Let's count by 10 14 times. Ready? 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 4 more. 110, 120, 130, and 140. Okay, so the area is 140 square units. But the perimeter, we just count the outside. So 14 plus 14 is 28. And 10 plus 10, we know that is 20. So now we just add these together. 20 plus 28 is 48. So the perimeter is 48 units. Okay, that problem was a little bit longer. It needed some more space. How is the operation of addition related to finding the area? So we just add, we just need to add all the squares together. Okay. All right, guys, I hope that helped you. I'll post Thursday and Fridays, hopefully tomorrow. Have a great day.